All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, you're live.
All right, cool. We'll just hide some stuff. So, did anyone catch this when I told you guys it was going to bounce at 41.30?
Yeah, I took it for a few points.
No, that's good. I mean, this ran 41.30 to 41.55, which was our previous lower high here. Could have been taking that all the way up to here, and you would have done pretty good as well. So, if you took it all the way up to here, you're talking about 41.51. So, 21 points, you could have taken this. If you trade futures, would have made some decent money here. All right, so let's just look at 30 minutes real quick. Okay. Uh, Man, you have a nice head and shoulders for me, huh? So this right here, the reason why I do this, right, when we have a consolidation like we do here, it's good to know where these POCs are, right? So if you look at this, this is telling me the POC is kind of like right here, 41.20. We bounced to 41.30. Now, if we lose the 41.30, most likely 41.20, and then below that you have, the value area low, which is at 4100. So it kind of dips into 20 points almost, like, hey, 41.40, 41.20, and then, you have 40.80 below it. And another thing that you want to do here is the most recent run here that we have from here to here. You want to grab that as well. And if you want to just take a look at it and see, right? So 39.60 remains to be the area of interest where we might get a bounce here, a strong one. So we'll be watching that. And then let's see here. So we're still consolidating, right? This might be here. Nice level. 41.19. Here's 41.37. How's today's volume profile? Where is it? Ooh. Right. So what does this mean when you're in an uptrend and you have a lowercase b?
Potential change of direction.
Yeah, there's a potential change of direction that we might experience here. So that's the reason why it's very important. So nothing really changed. I mean, we're still within the range. All these VPOCs are still intact. Like this guy here is pretty good, 39.77. Still gonna be very valid, 39.76. You have this guy here. I think this is our 4,000 POC from last night. They're very close. Just for you guys, when you're looking for POCs or marking them on your chart, if you're using trading, you just make sure you do it on 30 minutes. And also, what shape do we have here on this bigger profile?
Looks like a B.
This right here?
Well, it's either a capital B or it's supposed to be a P.
How about, does it look like this? Well, you have a little bit of double distribution here. This is your ping pong area here, so you want to be kind of playing that. I just don't even know how to delete this right now here. So this is where we get the nice little gap. So if we do break 40.80, but I don't expect it to break 40.80 unless, the numbers that we get from from the CPI are worse. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. The gas prices made up a lot of the CPI last time, and if the demand for the cars dropped and the price of the cars reduced, all those irrelevant items for now, because the food, I think, is still the main problem in the inflation, which I think has been neglected, and they're hiding that. But people are feeling it. So if we do break 41.20, this will be a fairly good short here. Most likely that if you break 41.20, we'll get the momentum. You have a little bit of here, the shelf that we talked about last time. It might hold a little bit, but you're hitting 40.80 breaks. You're hitting all the way down, probably 39.80s or so. So I'll be looking to short that as well. So this one's still, I mean, nothing really changed here. It's still here. We rejected the value area here. This was the POC rejection right there, 41.53. And the previous high, right? So the higher high, lower high. So now you have a double top. So on the double top, you short the neckline here, which is right here at 44.29.5. So I missed it by 50 cents today. Okay. And then this is our POC from around 30 minutes. Yeah. So we're bouncing off of this POC right now. So if we lose that, we're probably going to 41.30 here. Yeah, and then if you break this area, you guys see that we have a nice little, probably was. So we're just really stuck in 10-point like shift up and down. If you're not comfortable trading this, probably the best to avoid it until like after Wednesday. And you should feel comfortable not trading every day. So let's see how SPY does. Gonna hide some indicators, see how the daily looks. Cool. Not the best, not the. So the whole range today was $5.79, which is not the greatest range for the day. So we rejected the previous high. A lot of people today got trapped. If you guys remember, we talked about it last night. We said this level here, 415.68. Does anyone recall what we talked about last night? We said if this breaks, there's a high chance you're going to go to 417.44. I don't know if anyone recalls that, but this was your level. We broke. The retest really didn't hold. It looked like it was going to hold. The candles got smaller, and it never really held. So now, I mean, obviously, it's kind of here. Let's see if your next level of break is 409.67, and here we have like a little bit of invert or a little bit of a head and shoulder formation. If you guys look close enough, right? It's a slanted head and shoulders. Usually you want them straight, but hey, this works too. So left shoulder here, the head, and then you have the right shoulder. I would probably take this, if I was to short it, you'd probably take it here below this, and then you can probably take it freely all the way to this level here, and you can expect a bounce there. It's just price action trading that you would expect a bounce here. And then you would do the same thing on SPY. So just to make sure everybody understands. So last time we got a distribution here, right? So this was your distribution. This is where they accumulated, they popped it a little bit higher, and we dumped. This time it looks a little bit different. Here it looks more like a V shape, right? He dropped and then recovered the buyer's exhaustion and then dumped. Here they did a little bit better, right? So they pumped it up, brought it back on, and this is the way you want to go up: is up, consolidate, retrace, up, consolidate, retrace. Now it's just a matter of question, especially if you lose this level here, 406.82 from price action. That would really mean you're making lower highs here now, and then you'd be making lower lows. So that would be really, really important level, and then you're consolidating here as well. This is your level, right? So, and we talked about it last time. So we've been consolidating here. I would say 13 days, 3 hours. And then if you look right here, from the day we got in, we are 10 days, 6 hours, and then we have tomorrow and Wednesday. So we might be at the same time frame of consolidation here between the two consolidation boxes, if that makes sense. So let's see what it brings, right? So a major move will happen here if you guys use any squeeze indicators like TTM. There's potentially, I haven't turned it on, but I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of squeeze going on higher time frames. So we'll watch that. And then, of course, strongly believe in channels and trend lines. There's a little tool here if you guys are not familiar. Fib channel. You can use that to draw your channels, and then it makes a really nice channel here in a parallel. And the way you do that quickly is you just enable 0 and 1%. And if you want the middle line, you can enable that middle line 50%. And you can use it or you don't have to. The top and the bottom are really important. But just keep this in mind when you're, trading even tomorrow. That it might be choppy. I expected, a little bit of a balance today, like a wide range, but it wasn't that great. And tomorrow I expect a little bit more wider balance, probably a more typical day than it is today. So if you guys look at today's date, let me just go here. If you guys look at today's day, right? So it started high. They set up a nice little trap here on a double top, so failed auction right here. And then when we broke the low of the day, which happened to be right here, what do you typically do on the low of the day and the high of the day breaks? They usually come back and they retest those levels, right? So as they did here, boom, look, even on 15 minutes, probably looks even much nicer in 5 minutes. Look at this. So this is your initial balance high. If you haven't read the Pivot Boss book, I strongly suggest it. You have initial balance high, doesn't mean within 30 minutes, that's an opening range high. Initial balance high can happen between all the way till 1 o'clock, when they set the highs. So here they set the high, this was the low. We did have the gap that we talked about right here. I think we took a short, I forgot when we took a short right now, but we took a short somewhere, I think it was this candle here actually, I think. Yeah, it was this candle here. We took the short or this one. One of the two, and we were driving it all the way to this gap at 413, and the contract did pretty well. But this is a good strategy here, guys. If you break the initial balance low and a high, it just requires a lot of patience. So, open at 9:30, you wouldn't have taken the trade till 12 o'clock. That's 2.5 hours of you watching screen. And then when you think about price action, so you came back into the retest, right? If you guys recall what I talked about, the break of high and low, once you come back and you break the retest here, this is where you want to look short. What can help you in this matter to know if you should short here? Is another piece of thing that we use. How would have used it? Figure out if you should short there. Anyone?
The size of the candles getting smaller.
Size of the candles getting smaller. That's check mark, right? So let's just kind of write them down real quick. So size of candles getting smaller. Who else got one? What else could you use to help you know if you should take a short here? That's what I'm asking.
You need to look at the volume level. If it's falling off as it's rising.
Okay, tell me, where do I grab the volume profile from?
Well, if you're taking volume profile, you're going to be pulling it from the left. But if you're pulling volume from the bottom of the candle individually to see the volume for that period.
So like this. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, falling off. See that?
Yep, that's correct. So we'll put that. So, and I'm doing this just to help you guys what all goes through my head when I'm taking a position short or long. So we will call this volume bearish anomaly. If you're not familiar with this, I'll let Catching Rockets tell you what you should read and get familiar with. Okay. Fibs is another good answer, right? So we knew that this was the low of the day, this was the high of the day. You simply could have taken this right here and know that you're retracing into 38.2, and then if you do it from the bottom up, it's probably going to be a different fib here, right? So you're going to be hitting the 61.8 right here, almost very close to it. So I'll remove those. There's another piece of information I'm trying to get you guys to use it more.
Trend line.
Which trend line are you referring to?
Oh, it's the orb low also.
Yep, this was the orb low, correct?
So you retested the orb low is where you're supposed to go down.
Yes, this is good. Correct. Keep going. There's one more.
Could it also be the size of the wicks at the top of that retest?
Right here?
Yeah, they're getting like larger. Like from the white candle to the black candle, they're getting larger, indicating more selling volume.
That's correct. So when you look at candles as in positions, right, this is telling you here, hey, we hit the resistance, which was our previous low of the day. We broke the low of the day, and now we came back and we are retesting. Candles are getting smaller, volume's getting bearish, right? This is called bearish volume anomaly. And then even on the start of the day, this run up here, the candles were getting smaller. So now, it's telling you, hey, this candle got really, really tiny honestly, if you're going to break this level right here, this is your short entry, and you put your stop loss right above. And that's another way you could have traded it. Let me show you this. I'll grab a fixed profile, and I'll just grab it from here to here, right? But right now, in this case, volume profile really doesn't have much because a lot of the volume, it happened where? It gapped up, so there's no volume here. That's why we went down here, correct? That's why we accelerated. That's when we were trading live. I mentioned we were going to accelerate real quick here, and I mentioned it, multiple times on the call that it's going to be really, really quick, guys. And then I said either we hold or we're just going to open up a bloodbath here, and they open up a bloodbath. But watch this now. So if you grab this candle here, what you want to do when you're watching this, instead of grabbing so close the volume profile to here, just grab it from the previous low where it has volume in this area, and then kind of look and see if there's anything that would point out to this rejection right here. So if you look at it, let me just grab
just
this
a
volume
PLC.
profile. So if you go up to here, let's say to this candle here, so here you have some volume now, but then there's a really nice rejection waiting right here. This is the fall off, and usually these levels of volume profiles, they will act as a strong resistance and support. So if you mark this level right here, that would have been a good one because it kind of confluences with the rest of the stuff that you just told me here. You had 6 confirmations to take the short. And then here, if you took this level here, I did the same thing as I did above. If I just marked it here, you can go on a closer to the node here or here. It's your preference. You're going to learn to do it better over time. So if I did this one here, and even if I do, well, this one's a little bit more rounded. Look at this now. So if you would have shorted it here, that's great. Your first exit should be right here on the black line, right? Your second entry exit should be here on the value area high. You should have trimmed there, and that's great. So now look at the POC here. Look at the POC, how well, we were dancing on that POC for some time. I mean, you danced from it from 12:15 all the way down to about 2 o'clock. You're kind of stuck on this POC. Does this make sense, or what I'm trying to tell you is that when you break the highs and lows, you want to look at the volume profile to make sure that it aligns with what you're seeing. So if I take this sell-off now, right, if I prep for tomorrow, if I take this sell-off, okay, well, we pushed higher, right? We had a nice little bounce here. I guess 411.84 corresponds to 41.30 on ES. So we had a POC here. And what do we say when you break POC? What should you do? You let it break, right? And you short them a retest.
Retest, yeah.
And now look where we show here. It was a good setup for taking short. And even tomorrow, right? So this is your POC. I believe during the day, this was your POC here. We shifted towards the end of the day because a lot of action was there. So now, if you're going to go long tomorrow, you really need to break this POC. Most likely, you're going to push to this level here, and then you're going to come back down. That would be a good long retest to buy it all the way from the bottom and push it up, because it could have been a double distribution day here, right, the way it was looking. If they're able to defend this and pop higher, this would have been a double distribution day. Even now, it's kind of weird shaped. It mostly looks like a gap in between here. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you have a resistance that you're not sure if it's going to hold or not, just add some volume profile to it and see what does it say. And even if you add, if you zoom out a little bit, if you go, let's say, sorry, let me just move these lines. I can't stand it. We said, look at this volume where we accumulated, or I'll just remove this for a second so you guys can follow along. If I just grab when we enter this rectangle of consolidation, and I can look and see, hey, what happened here? You still see that we kind of held this POC here at 412, right? And then the previous, we're rejecting the value area high and holding the POC. So tomorrow, you potentially let it go drop, re-short, and let it go down all the way to value area low, which is 409. The 410 right here, this trend line might be a nice bounce, right? Because here, most likely right here, where you guys see the little fall off, they might defend this level right here. And then the next fall off that they have is kind of like right here, which is 410. And then I see, them probably defending somewhere 409.76. Once they lose this VAL on the bottom, the floodgates really, really open up then. Right, so 409, once that's lost, it's going to be dumpy time, right? And a lot of people are going to be going off of this candle right here, right? So if you just look at this candle right here, go on Twitter and type in SPY levels or whatever, and you're going to see everybody and their mother is shorting SPY below 409.60. And what's going to happen is that they're going to get a bounce probably right here, and they're going to wonder why. And then they're going to lose that trade. You really want to short this guy once this volume node's open, 409. It would give you some time, and it would basically make this trend line, give it a retest and down. A lot of people fail because they're not patient enough to do that. Okay. And then typically what I do, just FYI for you guys who's new, I like to grab weekly POC. So if you look at the chart, so from 1st through the 5th, that's a pretty good POC, and that would tell you your last week's POC, right? So if you go from the 1st, you find your 1st and fixed volume profile, and then go all the way to the 5th, we said. And just grab the end of the day of the 5th. So now this is your, weekly profile, the POC right here. I'll just remove this one. And you'll see how important these weekly POC levels are. So if you look at your value area high, you see that we're dancing on that. And then you look at the weekly POC here, we went above it, we came back, we retested it. So there's probably a high chance we're going to come back to some point and test this weekly POC as well. It's always good to keep the weekly POCs on every stock or whatever you might be trading, whether it's index or futures. Just add that on. Does that make sense? Okay, I guess silence means yes. But there is, like I said, head and shoulders forming here. So let's see what comes up out of it. So the only way I would take this long is, honestly, if this level here is taken apart and retest and then go long. So this would be the level I entertain for long side. Let me remove this. I added so much crap, I'm lost on my own chart now. I would go long 415.17, which is a value area high. You would want to play the retest on this, not the breakout. Then this is our POC here. You want to be aware. You can short below here. Let me just make sure my 30-minute levels are right on the point. Here's your value area low. These are the levels that I would watch, and if you look at it, right, you do have this little shelf here on SPY as well. So the real dump will start once we lose this, and then I just grab the volume profile from here to here, and now watch things open up to 396. I'll go all the way here. What did I grab? And you guys see that things start opening up all the way to about 396 here. So we will watch that. So probably here, 396.99. Call it 397.05. This is the level. Yeah, this is the level where we'd probably, if you short this 405, 397, say what, about $8 or so. You might have some choppiness. You'll take some profits here and there, but It might be a nice move there. Okay. Any questions on SPY? Is it clear what the plan is?
Hey, Shorty.
Mm-hmm.
What does the C stand for that you put in front of the value area high and those other terms?
I'll give you a second to think about it. If I don't put it on these regular POCs right here, so when I mark these, I just put, like, for instance, here I pull a VPOC because it's a VPOC. It hasn't been tested. The price went and exploded right from it. For this one, for instance, right here, this one might be a VPOC, but let's call it now. I would call the session regular profile a POC. When you add a C in front of it, that means it's a cumulative POC. That means I grabbed multiple days and I'm looking at it like kind of like a sum of POCs. So it's a cumulative POC.
Does any have more weight than the other? Like, would you, if there
Well,
was, you use them like simultaneous together?
Well, think about it. 1 day is one POC. You have 1 day worth of data. If I have a cumulative POC and it's telling me the cumulative POC made up of 10 POCs is right here. So this day right here is made up from July 14th all the way to August 9th. I will trust this POC a lot because it's a lot of days that are made up and it's telling me the POCs here. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So the more data you have in terms of figuring out where the POC is, like this one that you're talking about here, the more powerful that is.
So what's the point of the session volume profiles then if you could just take all the cumulative data?
Okay, so tell me here. Good question. Very good question. Tell me which one is a VPOC here.
I'm like, I have my mouse over it, but I can't really. Where that long black candle is, I don't know. It looks like.
You can't tell which one is a VPOC when you do a fixed range profile.
Yeah, that's true.
You can only tell on a session profile because it's day to day. Now I'm able to see which level and POC hasn't been tested. Like this one here has not been tested back, meaning the price went away from it, but it never came back to 396.24. So like this one here, if you just think about it for a second, this is our VPOC, and this happens to be our level, of a major shelf here that starts. So what do I typically do? I would just do something like this, right? I will grab this profile, and I would color this bad boy green, and I know, there's a VPOC there, there's a shelf there as well. So if you're to drop here, this is going to be a quick drop, but then as like 4130 level, I'll be out before it hits me. Because remember, there's always two things happening when you're approaching a level. The short covering people, the people that were short, they're going to start covering and buying. And people that bought here are going to do what? They're going to also start buying. So you want to make sure that you understand where these levels are. And that's the level right here. And hopefully I answered your question on the VPOC. So if, for instance, if you look here, this is a good example to your question. I'll hide this one. I'll hide it for a second so you can see. You see this POC right here, or this one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a VPOC, right? It popped here, they retested it, they dipped below it, made a double bottom. So this one is not a VPOC, but, this one here, I would say this one is a VPOC here. Right? So this one here is a VPOC, this one is just a regular POC. And if you look here, right, you have one POC here, three POCs at this level. Agree? So the way I look at it, this is a 3x POC. So it has, 3 times the strength of a regular POC because there's other POCs there. That means the highest volume has been accumulated at this level. So when you grab what we grabbed earlier, let me just kind of go back. When you grab the fixed range profile from the bottom all the way to the end, now you see that there's a big shelf over there. And that shelf is representing this POC, this one, and this one, because that's the highest volume accumulated. So now, even though it's not a, VPOC, it's a 3x POC, which is pretty powerful. But I wouldn't know if I did this alone, I wouldn't know that this is a VPOC here. I wouldn't know that this was a level that was untested, that I can make it a naked POC or a virgin POC. Because these virgin POCs, they become really good magnets. When you start dropping, you're going to revisit every one of these. So that's why we do session profile after or before, so you know where the levels are. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, that did. Thank you.
That was a good question. What are you struggling with, Tony? Just Control Shift R on your screen. Maybe if sequence is on, we'll ask him to hook you up. Okay. All right. So I think this is pretty good. We can short it here, get out at 409. A lot of retailers are going to be shorting at this candle right here. There is, a POC here. Did we say this was a VPOC here? Sorry, we were talking a lot. This is a VPOC still. This is going to bounce here. Okay, so if the retail is shorting below, what do you think the MM is going to do right here?
They gonna run it up.
Always. No. So we have this green trend line here. I mean, it would be great if tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Well, August 10th is just, everything's pointing towards, timeline-wise, August 10th. Like nothing is pointing anywhere else. It's okay in the end. You won't learn it overnight, but. Okay, so any questions on SPY, you guys good? Sorry I took long. I just want to make sure you guys are getting answers to your questions, right? I don't want you to be kind of like confused when you're talking. Okay. Qs. I guess we have majority of the levels on Qs. This trend line does not look like. I don't think. Oh my God. So we're heading on top of the channel. If you're going to go somewhere down, we're looking at $100 wipeout. This will be a super important level here. 314.56. This is our short level. Swing short. Bounce or short right there. Chalk, they did not push 330. Keys don't look that good. Right. Qs have a really good opportunity here.
Shorty, I think you also have a VPOC on the Qs at 314, like 46.
No, I'm sure there's plenty of them in Qs. They were running pretty strong. We'll look at them. So let's see, Q, CPOC here, back bounce. Got this little trend line. We have the value area high, so this can also be as a bounce. See that it can't keep separate things, separate colors. PSC will be present. Shorting if we decide to run. I just have a weird feeling that they're going to try to run this up even after CPI. I think they're going to run at 342. All right, let's take a look at these bad boys now. Yes, you're talking about this POC right here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of them. That one. The guy that told me that there's no way Tesla's not going to go to 1,000 last week deleted his Twitter. Looking for him.
Are you sure he didn't just block you?
I didn't block him. I knew where Tesla was headed. I was waiting for him. You don't, this is your life, once in a lifetime opportunity to short Tesla here. Oh, I'm sorry, Q's here, but Tesla looks even worse than this. I think there's 11 VPOCs on Tesla. This is pretty easy here. I mean, the guy from JPM said that it's getting scary out there, and last week he was fairly bullish. I'm just wondering why. Warren Buffett lost a couple of $1 billion. Wonder what JPM lost. Well, here's our short level. So an aggressive short can be right here. If you want to take it a little bit slowly, you want to go right here below this, the 1887. Let it break, retest, and then you have to take profits rather quickly, but most likely you're going to get it all the way to 315.42. That's somewhere where I'll be looking to scale out of the puts if you're going to short here. My trend line's so bad today. Was that a daily trend line? Yeah, that'd be a pretty good short here. Short here, you get a couple of points, maybe $2, $3 here. And then if we dump here below this VPOC, you go to the next VPOC. You break this one, just so you know that there's a level here that you should be aware of. 306.91. I guess there's a POC there. Maybe you'll see it. Yeah, that's P shape, huh? This is one that they were trying to defend probably. Here, and then right full underneath that we have that major level here that we would probably expect to bounce. So this right here is our, if you guys think about this, this is our full run from here, from the bottom to bottom. Then I did quickly from the higher low to the end as well, to see what is actually happening. And you look, you can probably use either one. It's telling you the same information. I just wanted to make sure there was no difference in the buyers and the aggressiveness, and there doesn't seem to be any. So you can wipe this one off. These are your levels now. And you see here, once you break this level here at 314, you almost get a nice move all the way to this 310 area. So let's see what shape is that. Another P shape. So they've been pushing it. Good job, retail. And here's our D shape volume profile. This would be a great revisit here. I'll look to see. I mean, it's just hard to play before Wednesday, guys. It's impossible. I like to even look at any swings here. Because right now, we have a higher value area low here, value area high compared to here. Still lower than the day before. I would say higher low value here. And now we are opening inside of this value area here from the previous day. So this is for NQ. It's just really rough. You really need to break this area here if you want to go higher. 13,306. If you break that, you're going to go higher. And then if you break this value area low here, you're going to go lower. So these are your key levels in NQ if you're going to be playing a game. And then in between here, this is where the chop fest is. So if I just do, between the two profiles right here, see if I do it here, look where the volume is. The cumulative POCs right there. This is your, so this here is like a 2-day cumulative POC, and you see, if I was to grab, this whole, this just looks pretty rough. Once we lose this level here, we're most likely going to go all the way to this value area here, which would be 13.2. So we have $107 points on NQ to be gained here. Could be even lower, 12.9, but I think they'll defend the 13K. And again, just a bunch of P2B pots. You guys can mark these and then put the zones around them. And the way you put the zones around it, you just look at the volume profile of the that you're highlighting and try and kind of find the standard deviation of one. So if you look at this one, it's pretty fat on the bottom side, and then there's a nice kind of even demand zone, if you want to call it, right here. And then same thing on this one. I'll just adjust it a tiny bit. And this is pretty much like a cluster of all of them here. The best thing you can do is probably grab from here to here and see the POC somewhere right here. 12,975 is the POC, value area high. But most likely this will be the level. This will be the two levels right here in between are going to act as support. We dropped here, and then we can check this also using the VRP, and look what happens here. Skinny belly right here where we said that you want to short it. Now you're going all the way to this area here, which is our POC area. So I'd be looking to get out of the short, as we might get a bounce like somewhere in this area. So 50 points range, but if you're getting in here, don't need to be greedy. You can get 110 points on NQ. So okay, let's see, 5 SQs. Did we cover Qs? We did. SPY covered. ES covered. The bounce. Yeah, this is a big boy area here. Man, the value area high and the POC are so tight together here. You guys look right here. It just means it's gonna chop a lot. We need to break this to go higher. Does anyone trade futures here? Am I pretty much the only one? I think there's other people that trade them. But what happened to PLTR after ER? Does anyone know? Did they dump this morning? Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they got slaughtered. I mean, they beat the revenue side. Some unexpected costs coming through.
The main issue they had with it is that they were stating that they'd have a 30% gain every year, and they only had something like 25%, and guidance didn't show that they'd continue necessarily at 30%.
Yeah. Hopefully not a lot of you have shares in this crap. I hate to tell you something, but you can see yourself. It's like a perfect bear flag. It's going to $4 or $5. Any other tickers you guys want to watch or see? A new VJ. Want a Tesla? He's obsessed with Elon.
So not a ticker, sorry. So not a ticker, Shorty, but any chance that you could like quickly go over exactly how you traded full send to pay off your house?
Yeah, just play the trades 2 to 1.
No, but I'm saying like you just every full send you played 2 to 1.
Yeah, 2 to 1.
But you,
I tried to get twice as profit as I did on a stop loss, and I would play that as much as I could. Especially if you can be patient, play the 30-minute time frames. That's where the money's really at. When you get a 30 minutes on the full send, it really does not miss.
Yeah, and then you didn't use any other confluence?
Nope. I was pretty wild, and I just did that.
On 30 minutes, you're swinging, of course, right?
Yes. Yep. And I would buy probably like 3 to 4 weeks out whenever I had the 30 minutes, and that ensured that Theta didn't kick my butt or any of that. And usually I would get minimum, I would get 20% on the majority of them.
I'm guessing on 30 minutes you wouldn't even worry about stopping out. You would just let it play out.
Well, I would have a stop loss right below the candle that triggered it. And usually I would look, if I'm looking for 50% profit, 25% was my stop loss.
Okay. Thanks.
So it just depended on the levels above, right?
Yeah.
That was the key on it. Yeah, so Tesla most likely going to 792. And let's check what they've been doing here. Okay, so not surprised we rejected here. This is the second heaviest shelf here on if you look at it, this is a really good big shelf here. So we rejected here. So tomorrow, and we'll do 30 minutes, just kind of see it. If we break this trend line here, if we break this, let me make sure, yeah, like this. Yep, got it now. If you break this trend line here in the bottom of this candle, there's a strong chance that you're gonna really, really sell off nicely here. And I mean, let me just do one from the beginning. So from the top to the current. Come on. So now you see where Tesla could be headed right now. Anyone see the picture? So I mean, you had obviously this giant shelf here. They're kind of rejected. If they're able to break this, there's a high chance we're going to hit that 989, 990, or even 1000, right? And you know, MMs are just really good at this game, where they trapped a lot of people on Twitter, and everybody was buying 1000 calls. But that's most likely headed right here on the bottom. So somewhere around here. This is where it's headed, and then we can check the buying and see how they did on that. We'll grab it from here to here, and oh, what do you know? Could be even lower than that. So it could be literally right back to 700. But they'll have a nice little bounce here in this area. So we can short probably Tesla tomorrow. I mean, if we short it here, let's see, there's a tiny little guy here, 841, and there's just a lot of space on it, and then it goes here. So we'll check 30 minutes to tell us what we should expect from levels. Probably a bunch of untested epochs. It had 11 if I didn't make a mistake.
There's a request from Mara.
From who?
YouTube.
Oh. Let's see, I've never heard of that person before.
No, ticker Mara. MARA.
Oh. Oh, I thought it was a person. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess, no, that wasn't a epoch. So we have a epoch on the upper side too, obviously here. And then there's one right above. So a bunch of levels here still left to be. I do think 806 level will be nicely defended at first. You're going to get a bounce here. You're going to get a bounce here. I could probably make this to this shelf. Yeah, this here will be a nice bounce. And this was a epoch too. So 863. If we break this guy tomorrow, there's potentially a high chance you're gonna bounce here tomorrow at the end, and then hit this POC 864, and that might be the play to take a short. Oh, let's see, Tesla moves pretty violently. So, or that's the Bitcoin company, I believe, right?
Yeah, Coinbase earnings after hours
Today?
tomorrow.
I'm assuming somebody's trying to do sympathy play here.
I would guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have a nice little bear flag here. on the weekly. I'll just ask the people in the group, what should you do here?
Short it.
Yeah, short the fuck out of it. This is going back to worthless. Along with Bitcoin. Yeah, so this was your previous high breakout. You went in, you retested that level. This was your major support previously. You bounced from here, you came back, another major support somewhere around here. And I don't mean no harm to anyone when I say it's worthless or whatever. I just don't think the government's not going to allow Bitcoin to go too far because then they lose power. But this looks to be, obviously, it's the perfect bear flag. Just a gorgeous bear flag here. I mean, call it what it is, and you'll see. There you go. This looks like a perfect bear flag, and it probably didn't even retrace to 38.2. So, what do you know? It hit it perfectly. See how heavy and aggressive these buyers were. The structure is going to look so poor. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll take some puts on this too, below 13. That's spell retest. Yeah, this looks pretty good short. Might get some support here. And once it loses this level, 1204, there's nothing stopping this thing. It's probably going to go here. $7, $8. Oh my God. Tesla is about to get slaughtered tomorrow. Oh my God. I still have 800 put. Oh my God. That's going to be great. All right. Does that help, Devon? I would only go long when it breaks 15.7. And most likely, if I was to do this, I don't, if you guys know, I don't play a lot of these stocks. But there you go. It needs to break value area high if you're going to take a long. So you can play at 1572, 1629. Not enough meat. There's plenty of other setups that are looking better than this. You will have to break this, come back for a retest, and then you have about $2 run on this. But thank you. Take a look at this guy. How do I find the Coinbase Bitcoin? Does anyone know? Oh, maybe I should do that. Ooh, yeah. Another bear flag coming, and this is about to dump. Sorry to extend it, but this makes it easier to draw. But yeah, this looks like a pretty good bear flag. You can short it from the top or short the previous higher low. Which happens to be here. And if Bitcoin breaks this level here, that means Mars is going to go shit. I'm already short in Tesla. I already have 800 puts. Okay. What else you guys got? Lucid. Did they start making cars yet? Do they have cars?
I thought they've been making cars for a while.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Isn't Lucid the guys who just totally screwed the production yields?
Yep.
Oh God, what'd they do?
They were supposed to do like 25,000. They only did like 6,000 or 7,000.
Oh my God. Are they based out of China or?
No, they're actually, I think they're in Arizona.
No. Yeah, I'll short this below 17.8. I mean, there's a lot of support there. Once you short this, is going to the low. What, $13? I mean, this here basically hit 50% here and came tumbling down. So once we lose this, we're not even about 38.2. So once we lose this here, we're done, going down. Probably put an alert on this. This might be a cheap contract because it's only what, 20 bucks? Probably pennies. What did they do to reset? We're still running it. Teresa might be ready to short here. Bearish volume anomaly on 3 days. Bearish volume anomaly on 1 day. Monthly looks pretty bad. And then weekly, yeah, it looks okay. Not the best setup. I would short this too. Short it, you know, the low of the day today, which is an inside bar here, or you know, if you break 203, which is 10 bucks, it just looks like it's consolidating. The AMD did it close about 100. Ooh. What's this pattern called on the 2 candles here? I know a weekly hasn't closed, but what's this called? Does anyone know?
That's not the pregnant candle, is it?
It's what?
I said that's not that pregnant candle, is it?
It is pregnant candle. Yeah, it's a bearish Rami candle. This has a lot of power here, but it's weekly, so we can't get our hopes up yet. This was my supply zone on AMD. We hit it right on. I think you would want it to go if it breaks 90, whatever the low of the day today, 98. There's a high chance, really high probable setup. You're going to 95. So I'm probably going to be looking for 1K account, short this bad boy. Remember the retest here, and then this will be your exit. And once we break this, and we open up the, if you guys look at this sell-off here, right? So not much. Now, if you look at this whole profile here, so if you short it here from profile perspective, and this is how important it is to add volume profile. Should you short it here now that you added volume profile?
No.
No. This is definitely a no. You do not want to short it here. There's a lot of buyers. There's a lot of volumes. People like you do not want to short it here. You can go long over here. You do not want to short it right there. So you can go long over 98.65. We're already above it. So if we drop to this level, you can expect a bounce right here. So this short is what retail would do because of that decision, but no, we don't take that away. And look, we almost bounced there anyways. This looks pretty good, below 95. That looks like a pretty easy short on AMD. You have a little bit of space once that happens. So 91.20, so about $4. And then this would be a really good zone. And this is what most professional traders do. They wait for this to come back to here. I mean, it ran. This right here wasn't running up. This is running, and they're going to wait and wait and wait. And what do you think they're going to do here? When everybody's panicking, when it comes here, they're just going to buy a contract, buy 4 weeks out, and go on with it. Something is going to change the next 4 or 5 weeks where this is now going to be a higher low here. And then it has room to go to 116 or so. Did anyone take Amazon short with me or just me?
I did, but I got out.
Yeah, so this was pretty good here.
Yeah, I'm still
You
in.
said, look for a rejection short here. This was pretty good today. You came back, you dropped below. This was your entry right here at 143, and then you went all the way, reset. This was a good level, and this is where you exit. And then if you break this, you could have shorted this. It looks fairly weak right now. So we still have a nice little bear flag here that we want to play. So bear pennant here, and then accumulation kind of pointing all the way to 136.
Yeah, but I mean, with Amazon, do you think they were accumulating down lower and now they're basically just distributing again? Do you think it's going to be flat for a while?
No, I think they're going to do it fairly quick. Especially if Walmart earnings. When's Walmart? It's coming up here, August 16th. Once they have earnings, what do you think is going to happen to Amazon?
Yeah, Walmart already released their downgraded guidance, though.
Yeah. Well, think about what's going to come out. Their downgraded guidance and they prep the market, and now you hit them some really bad news. What do you think is going to happen with this cup and handle when it breaks?
Yeah, for sure.
And you're thinking, you're looking here, top 10% drop from this line here. Oh wow, this never happened. We're looking at about 110. See what lines up for 110. Okay. Really no shelves here. It really doesn't have anything here besides this value area high. That's where it bounced last time, and if it's able to break that now, I got 1, 2 taps, 3 taps, 4 taps. I mean, if you lose this, you're probably going to 100 here. This is where it really starts. But this level here becomes crucial on Walmart. I might play earnings on Walmart. Did Target have earnings? No, they have it at the same time. Oof. Does anyone remember 2 weeks ago, what did we say where we want to short Target?
Right here.
Oh my God. This is about to get nasty, guys. I think this has potential to really have bad ER, like really, really bad ER. That's a nasty hammer candle. Oh my God. Thank God I looked at it. Yeah, this is beautiful short here setting up. I hate Target. Takes all my money when my wife goes with me. Horrible store. Beautiful. Do you guys see this? Right here? You know where the POC is going to be here at least. This is looking pretty juicy, guys. This breaks 163.59, and this has a really, really high chance to go to 145s. And this 157 is almost high probability that we are going to come back to this level right here. But we gotta wait for the CPI, see what they want to do. Let me just check VIX real quick. So we're still doing currency swaps and Canadian stopping this from running anywhere. So yeah. So once we break out of this, we're probably going to have 60 days or 30. I think the average was 39 days of extreme up. So here up, quick up, and then all the way down like 30, 40 days. So if we get it up, we can be done sometimes by probably October on recovery mode for the next fall. Today this was easy play. Once it broke this level here, really dumped. BYD. They're still selling fake hot dogs or whatever they sell. Wow. They missed both top and bottom and they went up. And it's probably going to be the worst structure you've ever seen on volume profile. Ready? There you go. So, you lose this 38.19. You have some hope, but there's some kind of buyer right here to defend it at 36. You lose 36, you're going $32.
Didn't there used to be like $130 or something?
Yeah, man, something crazy. I think even 200, man. Yeah.
Oof.
I actually caught this move right here, from here all the way to here.
Yeah, I used to play it back when I had no clue what was going on.
I mean, it's just when you do that to a stock, I just don't know how do you trust it much. It looks like a penny stock. You go from, and you lost how much? 92% of the market cap.
Upstart lost what? 95?
Yeah, and this is a good looking candle to go long. I'm definitely being sarcastic here. There's this candle. Last time we had a hammer like that on the weekly. Didn't end too well. Yeah, you can definitely short this below that 38 we said, 38.19. Nasty candle down. It looks like a good range though, right? 240 to 30. Very good. Just imagine the guy that bought right here. He no longer has a wife or anyone that has family. He's single.
Kramer probably told him to buy it.
Probably. Where's our beloved NVIDIA with this bear flag? What are we doing tomorrow on it? Did anyone play today in NVIDIA? That went for over 140%. Oh, good job, Nick. Yeah, I'll look to add some shares here on the video. 150, and then it'd be great if I get it like 140s. Yeah, I'm gonna look to average cost a little bit here. Let me just see where we're going tomorrow, though. I know Fabi's gonna ask me, where are we going? So we bounced right there off that VPOC perfectly. That was our exit for the most part. So, and then we have two POCs. I'll call it three POCs in between. What am I doing by doing this here from the top to this? What am I trying to find?
Where the buyers and sellers are?
Be careful. I'm going from here to the bottom. What am I looking for?
Seller.
I'm looking only for sellers. I'm looking where to short this. So we knew that there was a bounce here, right, off of this POC. I'm trying to see where the seller showed up last time. So obviously this shelf did not do it. If you're going to run tomorrow, this would be the level where you want to short it, 180.10. It would make a lower high, and if you just think about it, try to visualize it. If you do this, look how nice that triangle is building now into a bear pennant. So this would be a really, really good short entry tomorrow. I'll definitely watch this tomorrow. And Max, I wonder what they did. Did it fall that far? Oh my gosh, oh my god. Wow. $30. That's great. This used to be $200 too. Maybe even more. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
speaking of which, look at XBI.
This is nasty. This is just... And somehow, if you guys look at insider tradings, do you guys know who was buying right here in this accumulation here?
Chinese laboratory in Wuhan.
No, all of your congressmen in the United States. Just coincidence that they would buy here. But they lost money, right? So it's not worth investigating an SEC, is it? They accumulated here. They're like, hey, you'll go down for a little bit. Watch here. I'll just go to this candle right here. And, they accumulated here, but they really got the deal at $6 on this accumulation. Pretty good, huh? Good politician. So they left this to be the only player with Pfizer for the vaccines. Oh my god, look at this, guys. Well, either there's a new pandemic coming or we're going to slice through it, because this is actually a bullish volume right here on monthly candles. Yeah, I'd look to buy some calls here, 44, 45 on this. We'll probably bounce. Cat break. Oh, yeah. And pay attention to this cat, guys, here. If this breaks this little bear flag, most likely headed to this demand zone right here. Oof.
Shorty, you like that for long term, right?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, I do not buy any shares here. I'd love to buy a little bit cheaper than this. So just think, what has every president done once they make a recession, right? People lose jobs. What if Biden, let's say Democrats continue and they win in December in the midterms? What do you think the next bill they would release?
Build roads.
Build back America, infrastructure. We need to make America great again, and we're going to do it by building this. Then you look at stocks like this one. You look at X, which is your steel. It's just funny. I said short 3-4 weeks out here. Look at this, 35 dumped all the way down to $15. This is a great entry for shares. Golly, why the hell was I not watching this? Oh my God, this is beautiful entry for shares. Yeah, if this comes back anywhere between 20 and 15, I'll add shares this. DM, we said we want to short NVIDIA there because it's our trend line and it's probably going to make, if you look at this, this is a shelf. If you look at this, it's a kind of like a lowercase b. Whenever you have a lowercase b, you want to short on the next high volume node. And we know NVIDIA is struggling a little bit with did they release like the numbers or something? They said their guidance was bad. I know they released something. And then let's say for some reason, they take off tomorrow or whenever. This is probably a good area as well to short, but I just don't see it breaking this for now. This might be a good spot to short. I mean, it has had this value area low rejection here if you guys look at it for some time. Twice here, here. Not a bad short. Some futures. But it's really tight, 6 points. I'm not going to play that. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. Hopefully, you guys have a good night.
Thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Shorty. Appreciate it, Shorty.